Okay,
All right.
so this is Steve, and I'm here with John McGauley, who is the the Allen County Recorder.
Yep.
John, we appreciate your time today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for coming down.
Sure. Well, you're on the ballot this November, unopposed, but I still thought that it would be good to get together and kind of talk about some different things with the Recorder's office.
Okay.
Why don't we start out with a little bit of your background?
Okay. My family and I, we moved to Allen County 30 years ago, actually this month, in 1980. And I spent the first part of my career after college at Ball State in newspapers, actually. I was a journalism major at Ball State and spent the first part of my career covering government, among other things. And the simplest way to put it is about 10 or 12 years ago, just kind of got tired of watching and wanted to get involved. Saw some things that were interesting to me and wanted to get involved. And my first job in politics was actually just at the top of this same building. I went to work for Paul Helmke back in 1998 as a public information officer, and the rest was history. Spent a few years working in the county commissioner's office as their PIO, and actually this was my second attempt to win an elected office. I ran for Fort Wayne City Clerk in 2003, and then again for Recorder in 2006, and won. And I'm 3.5 years into my first term, running for a second.
Okay. And this, when you win the second, that'll be it. You'll have to leave office.
Yeah.
Can you come back, or is it you have to leave for a certain amount of time? Or
I could if I wanted to. The statutory limit is 8 years and 12. So if I wanted to sit out a term, and people in Allen County and other places have done that, if you wanted to serve 8 and sit out 4 and come back, you can do that.
So talk to me a little bit about what things were like when you first came into office here.
In Allen County, when I came into office, wasn't unlike a lot of other counties in the state. Very manual, very paper driven. We had a certain electronic element to our office where you could search things in the office electronically back a few years, but we had no web accessibility, a limited electronic accessibility in the office. It was mostly looking in 100-year-old books and flipping through documents to find what you needed. And we attacked that pretty quickly. By the end of my first year, we had put in place all the infrastructure we needed to really start rolling things out to the web. Today, we've got 2.8 million documents online, going back almost 50 years. We've finished imaging, digitizing, really everything in the office that people still use. We've even taken some of the pieces out that people really use, on a more concentrated basis, like neighborhood covenants and things like that, and put those out on the web all by themselves for people to access for free. We've got almost 40 of our biggest users that access us exclusively online now, which has really made the office a lot less manual, a lot less people intensive, a lot less paper driven.
Mm-hmm. And you just recently rolled out the ability to file deeds and things online.
That's right. We've been able to e-record, paperless recording, for about 2 years, and so far we're still the only ones in the state doing that. But it was kind of limited by the fact that you couldn't e-record a deed, which makes it kind of irrelevant to a lot of people that are doing, entire closing packets for, the purchase of a house or a piece of property, something like that. If you can't record the deed electronically, you might as well bring it all down. But we recently turned the key on a new system that allows us to do that, to record deeds and circulate those electronically, paperlessly to all the other departments that have to deal with those. So that's really going to make e-recording take off. I mean, there are counties in this country that do 30 to 50% of their documents paperlessly. And when you get to that point here in Indiana, it's really going to make a difference in how fast these offices can work and how expensive they are.
3.5 years to go paperless. That sounds like quite an accomplishment.
We've gone a long way. We've gone a really long way. Mm-hmm. And absolutely none of it would have been possible if I didn't, quite frankly, have a really good group of people in this office. People like me can come up with good ideas all day long that go absolutely nowhere if people in your office don't want to do them. Mm-hmm. But, I inherited, to my predecessors, everlasting credit. a group of people that were just chomping at the bit to make things happen.
Mm-hmm. How does that stack up with statewide? How many other counties are paperless or at this point?
Yeah, so far we're it. There are now that the system is existing that allows us to start recording deeds. A lot of other counties were waiting on that. You know, why go part way when the whole way is just around the corner? There are, I believe, 10 or 12 counties that are getting ready to do it. So, you know, that's one thing that makes us really happy, is that we've gone out and proven some things on our own here in Allen County that are starting to take hold across the state. And, you know, it's not as important when one county out of 92 is doing them, but, you know, it really starts to make a difference when what you're doing is spreading out over the state, and that we're happy about that.
Mm-hmm. What's left to do? Where would you like to go in the next 4 years?
There's a long way, really. I mean, you know, we've done a lot of things, and we've made a lot of new services available, but there are things that I think I still need to do to make these permanent institutional practices. You know, mm-hmm. the difference between where we are now and where we were 4 years ago is a recorder who's willing to keep doing it. And, you know, I've got a great chief deputy in this office who is just as enthusiastic about it as I am. You know, hopefully getting her in a place where, you know, she wants to be a recorder in a few years, and really strengthening the services that we've got available here so they become permanent. They're not something that somebody down the road could just say, you know, this is a lot of hassle, I don't want to do this anymore. And we ought to be out marketing these services, quite frankly. You know, they're great to have available, but if nobody knows, who cares? Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's one thing we need to start doing is getting out to the people that could benefit from having online access to neighborhood covenants, and saying those are here, and people that could really benefit from e-recording. Because, you know, government's not the only place where people are having to cut their budgets. You know, every title company and law firm and realtor that we work with, they're losing staff, and they can't afford to sit down here all day long. And they might like to know that you can search 50 years worth of documents online and record paperlessly. And that's what I mean when I say marketing. We just need to spread the word so that, you know, the things that we're doing get used to the degree that they really should be.
And it's not just advantages for taxpayers, it's also advantages for business owners.
That's right.
So, and I think that's another important piece to market as well.
Yeah, because it's all savings. I mean, not only are we getting less expensive the fewer numbers of people that we have to employ here to handle paper, but it also benefits that law firm or title company out on the street. I mean, this is still a very people-heavy environment, even when everything is digitized. And we have people that sit in here all day long that do nothing but looking through electronic records. You know, if we were out there marketing the fact that you can do this from your desk, I think that helps them too.